everyone, my name is Huda Queen 94. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a huge New Orleans Saints fan, as well as being a huge fan of the NFL. And as you can see, I am not in front of my camera today. That is because I am behind my camera because I myself am not feeling too great right now. My allergies have been pretty bad, so I took an antihistamine and I'm completely drowsy, but I did want to talk about the game coming up, and I feel I owe it to the Baltimore Ravens. So, unfortunately for today, if it even matters, I will not be showing my face on camera, which may be a good thing, or it may be a bad thing, I don't know. But either way, clearly I am not to be seen, but hopefully to be heard. But man, oh man, week 9 is all wrapped up, and I have to say, the amount of swear words that one can say in 5 minutes against a team that isn't theirs is astounding. But that is what happened to me at the end of the Rams-Bucks games. Now, I have my feelings about the Rams, and one day soon they'll be addressed. But wow, how can you play decent defense until the final drive of a game where you suddenly crack under pressure? Now listen, I may not be one to talk given what we're about to talk about, but listen, we're not the Super Bowl champions, so the expectation is not on us to win all these games. But either way, Rams, you completely dropped the ball in that one. But either way, we've got a couple games to talk about, so without further ado, here we go. Ravens and Saints. Okay, so in the first quarter, Saints get the ball to start. A 3-and-out forces the Saints to punt. A sack on Lamar is taken away by an illegal hands to the face. Ravens are forced to punt after incomplete passes. Dalton throws a pick, but it's a PI and it gives the Saints a first down instead. Kamara stops short on back-to-back plays. Saints are forced to punt. Jackson is sacked at midfield on 2nd and 6. Jackson picks up the first down on third down with 1:54 to get into field goal range. Lamar finds Likely with 1:23 for the 24-yard touchdown on the next play to make it a 7-0 game. Dalton is sacked to end the first. Ravens lead the Saints 7-0. Second quarter. Lamar finds Deshaun Jackson open for 23 yards, but it's brought back because of an ineligible receiver downfield. Ravens managed to keep the drive alive by making some big plays and avoiding sacks. Lamar hands it to Drake for the 1-yard touchdown with 2 minutes left to make it a 14-0 game. Saints go hurry-up offense. Andy Dalton overthrows Callaway on what would have been a touchdown. Lutz kicks a 33-yard field goal to make it a 3-14 game. Third quarter. Ravens get the ball to start. Justin Tucker kicks a 32-yard field goal to make it a 17-3 game with 8:25 left. Taysom throws a dart to Olave to midfield. Raven lose a challenge as Dalton was down before he lost the ball at midfield. Dalton gets sacked by Humphries on 3rd and 4. Lutz kicks a 37-yard field goal with 1:25 left. Ravens lead Saints 17-6 to end the third. Fourth quarter. Ravens are forced to punt at the beginning of the fourth. Dalton is sacked and Saints are forced to punt it right back. Justin Tucker kicks a 41-yard field goal with 8:36 left in the fourth, making it a 20-6 game. The ball is batted and intercepted in Saints territory with 8:24 left. Kenyon Drake gets the 3-yard run touchdown with 6:55 left to make it a 27-6 game. Dalton throws to Dwayne Johnson for the 41-yard touchdown with 4:13 to make it a 13-27 game. Ravens beat the Saints 27-13. Yep. Now look, I did mention my concerns about this game, and most of what I was worried about did actually happen, give or take. Saints played horribly on all aspects of the game except maybe special teams. I mean, does it really matter though? I think this was Andy Dalton's worst performance to date. Or, next to the Cardinals game, but at least that one was within 8. This was a 2-score win for the Ravens. Dalton missed a big opportunity to Callaway on what maybe could have been a game changer going into the half if he doesn't overthrow it, and it's a touchdown. I mean, that for me right there made me completely livid. I mean, I suffer with some pretty bad anxiety, so seeing that, my anxiety just completely went through the roof with that. I was so ticked off. I mean, I was literally shaking, not to be overly dramatic, but it's true, I was shaking with that one. The O-line did nothing to protect him. 4 sacks, and regardless of how you felt about his performance or feel about Andy Dalton in general, I mean, he was literally getting killed out there, especially in that 1 sack where he got sandwiched between 2 guys. I mean, even I felt that. But still, 210 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. We'll talk more about him coming up. We couldn't establish a running game, which I mentioned would be hard to do. 30 yards for Kamara. Taysom wasn't much of a factor except for a few plays here and there. Chris Olave led in receiving, but, not great numbers, only 71 yards right there. Defensively, 4 sacks, no turnovers. Drake had 2 touchdowns and 93 yards. Lamar had 133 passing yards and 82 rushing yards. Once again, the defense continues to struggle against running quarterbacks. That's something that's been happening for seasons, so that's really nothing new. They had the ball almost 15 minutes more than we did, kept us off the field, and did what they needed to do to win this game. A game in which, again, I wasn't overly confident in this game, as if you did see my last video, I expressed my concerns about it. As I mentioned, I think the reason the Saints lost this game, is because they played terribly on most all aspects. Bad offense, no one really making huge plays, defense not stepping up, the run not being much of a factor, coaching wasn't great, should have kept Taysom in the game more, and so this brings me to my next topic. It's very clear we have a quarterback problem. We have 3 quarterbacks, and yet no one has been consistently good enough to be, the quarterback for the remainder of the season or the future, which I don't think any of the 3 are the future. But, we wanted Winston to recover and get better, and in that time, Dalton's, stepped up and won games and lost them. And, since he played terribly against the Ravens, now we're talking James time. But based on what I'm gathering, the only reason DA hasn't pulled the plug on this is because of the relationship and rapport that Andy has already built with the offense in the absence of Winston. There's chemistry between him and Olave, and that's his go-to guy. He works pretty well with Kamara, so that's why I see DA sticking with Dalton. But will there be a time when DA has to make that call, or will we even see Winston the rest of the way now that he's healthier? If you ask me personally, I say give Taysom a shot. Listen, he filled in for Breeze years ago, so we know what he's capable of. We know that he can win games. But that's just my take. I'd say, just throw in, Taysom Hill at this point. But either way, it kind of seems like now DA has already made up his mind about this. But it's something to talk about, and, it's something that we need to evaluate moving forward if we want any chance of winning the division. But, congratulations to the Ravens. They played one heck of a game, came up with a great game plan, kept us off the field. This isn't a team I hate. I wish them the best of luck, and truly I hope they pay the man. I think Lamar deserves it, and I think he should get his bag, so that's all I'm going to say on that. But yeah, pay the man. But moving on, Saints play the Steelers in Pittsburgh, a 2-6 team. Saints are actually 2.5 favorites to win. I'm assuming Kenny Pickett is going to start, and since he's played in replacement of Trubisky, he's had 5 interceptions to 2 touchdowns, so the numbers are not great for him. They haven't rushed more than 100 yards this season. The most that Najee has gotten is 74 yards. Their receiving core with Freiermuth and Deontay Johnson haven't been spectacular, and they average 15 points per game. Listen, very mediocre numbers, so I feel even if the defense lacks a bit, it's still a winnable matchup in that department. And the Saints have suffered quite a bit of injuries on both sides. I don't know if we'll get Warner or Lattimore back for this game, but even then, if we get some sacks and some picks, which based on the ratio looks pretty promising, we can win this battle on defense. We just can't allow Najee to get his first 100-yard game against us. We have to make Johnson and Freiermuth non-factors. Take them out early. Make Pickett very uncomfortable in the pocket. Sack him, and I think we'll be okay. On offense, this is a team and a coach Dalton knows very well. They haven't given up a lot of yards to running backs on defense, but again, I keep saying if we establish the run pretty early, I think it'll work more in our favor. I think, well, I know that I've said this before, but, bringing in Taysom will help us out graciously. And I feel like DA needs to realize the benefits of Taysom Hill. So, I mean, he's not a liability. He really is our Swiss Army knife. And I feel like DA doesn't know how to use him like Sean did. But, that's just based on what I'm seeing. And I kind of am a little upset that we are not seeing a lot of Taysom in the second half of games where he could be useful. But I don't know. I mean, but moving on, this could be a game where Kamara could have over 100 rushing yards. If they get the run game going, I feel things could fall into place much quicker and much easier. They do give up a lot of yards to receivers, so this could be a game where Olave, Callaway, and even Traquan, whose name I haven't mentioned, could be very productive. Evaluating this game and knowing the potential of the Saints, if I'm being honest, I would be beyond shocked if we lost this game. Now listen, I don't want to toot my own horn because I did that against the Cardinals and I had to eat major crow. The Steelers are coming off a bye, but this screams winnable to me, and it's a must-needed win. I cannot see a reason why the Saints would go up and lose this game. But again, Saints have lost games because they've made bad decisions. So if the Saints can clean up their mistakes, have a great game plan, don't get stupid penalties and capitalize on their mistakes, then we should be fine. I think it could be low scoring, but, I think we can win by about 5. I think that feels about right. And so, based on what we've seen, the division is still up for grabs, so this win could really work in our favor. But I think that is all I have to say in regards to that. I know, a very short video, but, I'm not on camera, so... Once again, my name is Queen94. I'm also on Twitter under the same name, or under Olave Saint Savior. I know I don't tweet often, and that's mostly because, again, I've mentioned that I have another Twitter, but I'm getting there. I promise I'm getting there. So if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, I'd much appreciate this. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If not, that's okay. I completely understand. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd much appreciate it. So, yes, thank you so much for watching, and go Saints. Who dat, baby? Okay, bye-bye.